54,000 to incarcerate, and the bit in the middle, nobody's costing. Because I'm here to say to you, it's an industry. It's worth billions of pounds. And I'm going to make it a little bit more lean. Because I think everyone's got too much into the comfort zone. How many of you love targets? All their faces lit up. Targets. The bane of our lives. The ball and chain of our middle passage from Africa to America and Europe. We all migrated, by the way. How many of you were embarrassed about slave trade? Last year, slave remembrance. You were embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. By the way, there was inter-African tribal tensions. We decided to get rid of some of our enemies, and you profited from it. We were all culpable. We were all responsible. You just weren't supposed to have taken it to such extremes. That's a bit I sort of say. But every culture's done some form of nonsense to some culture at some stage in history. The other thing I remember is we're not as civilised as we like to think we are. Especially us boys. We build things, we break things, and the girls fix them. The gender balance is as good as it could be. By the way, if the gender balance wouldn't have been right, I'd have definitely come up with an excuse with Auntie Alison said, I can't do it. She would have. She'd have seen the phone. Where are you? Like, Mum, where are you? I'm coming, I'm here. It's about culture, language. How many of you know the language of the streets? So you all had the two team exchanges, because we need to learn the language. Go to a foreign country, you speak the tongue, they relate to you. We need to learn the language. Once you learn the language, you've got the culture. If you know my culture, you then understand and are committed to doing something within my culture. I can share this with you because many of you will know the word bling. Many of you know the MTV culture. I say this as someone that, by way of what people look upon within rap culture, bling culture, and the MTV culture, that is not my culture, and it's not your culture. Is it your culture? Do you relate to it? What I've not understood is how something that was related so disproportionately to such a small percentile of this country could now be mainstreamed so that I've got Asian youth in my barber shop looking for shapes and speaking a language. Ginger-haired Anglo-Irish youth doing exactly the same, speaking more street than I can. We've got West Indian barber shop, and we've got an Anglo-Saxon Salford youth now cutting hair in shapes. And by the way, if you really want to know what's happening in the hood, go to a West Indian barber shop. Everything you want to know is there. They'll even give you an haircut and hairdressers, because we've got the girls working with the boys. We thought it was one of the best ways of trying to rebuild relationships. So the girls didn't keep getting dissed and missed and hooched and whored. All unacceptable words in a vocabulary and language that would suggest citizens of rights and responsibilities and respect. How can respect be a government policy? Enlighten me, because I don't know how that one works. By the way, you want to kill something, make it a policy. Seriously. It's just... How many of you are continuing your professional development? You get a number of days training, don't you? Come on, just share with me. I want to know what you're up to. I'm still trying to get a picture of what I provide. That's why that goes blank, and I click it again. And I won't know what the next bit is until I know what I'm dealing with. I want to know if I've got some star performers, or if there's some who are literally like a swan, looking all graceful, but flapping like hell underneath the water. Because that's what we do, it's what I do.
I'm doing a foundation degree, we're working with young people in the community at the minute.
Okay.
3-year part-time course at Blackburn Far College.
I'll really get into it.
They've done an introduction to counselling, which kind of helps out a little bit.
Every little helps.
Consider level 3 counselling studies at the moment.
Come on, girls.
It's actually for training, done that as well.
I mean, that's all the boys like to post. And all the girls like to... Okay.
And they give advice and guidance.
Right. Right.
Just the social coaching network.
I'd really like it if you smiled. There you go.
Don't smile very often.
I know, but that's what I really want one from you. You laugh a lot, though. Yeah, but you've got to smile. Smile's part of that. It just allows the muscles to relax. That really feel good, something happens. It's a bit that feely something. We don't like feely in this country. The Latin countries and the Africans are really sort of intense. People go, oh, you're so intense. No, I'm not, I just feel a lot. Might have had something to do with my mum bouncing me off the ball occasionally. That tough love thing. Best coach I ever had. Still frightens me, still winds me up, and can push my button in about 2 seconds. And that's without speaking to me. Phoned me up this morning and says, what's going on? She knew. That's the freaky bit. She knew. And I thought, how the hell does she know? And my wife knows. And my daughter's just about getting that ability. By the way, gentlemen, if you've not worked out that they are the ruling class, you're in trouble. If you've not worked out that they have a longer term strategy than we ever do, you're in trouble. If you need that to be confirmed, every great man who's failed is as a result of one of them. Everywhere I've been in the world, every village, township, project, ghetto, bogside, wherever I've been, and I've had a forum where I've had to present why I believe sport and the arts are vaccine, there's been 3 or 4 women sat at the back. And I've always been mindful of them. They never say a word. And the men go, yeah, we'll do this, and we'll do that, we'll do that, and we'll do this. And I go over there and they sort of just nod. And that's when I knew it would be sustained. So we might go and do all the so-called glamour and hard stuff, but they're the ones who sustain it for us. Well, it's my wife who made sure I got here this morning. It was like trying to get a day off school. Didn't happen. Anyone here liquor sweet from Woolworths? Doctors and nurses, knock down ginger. That was, didn't you, at my age, knock down ginger. What do you call that now? Knock down ginger. Ringing someone's doorbell and running like hell. Did you ever do that? What do you call it? Knock a door run. do you not do it? Do you ever get caught?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough. Sweets from Woolworths?
Yeah.
Own up, you lot. Everybody has been to sweet from Woolworths. Bloody hell. Sorry. Did you unknowingly unwrap a sweet and put it in your mouth and say, oh, I forgot to pay for it? Doctors and nurses. Doctors and nurses. Flaming hell, we're in trouble here, aren't we? You need to remember when you were young and all the things that you tasted but never digested. We all tried it, and I've got a few scars that remind me of the wounds of life. Jeremy Irons, the actor, said, we can't hug them and we can't pinch them. And I think it's a wonderful reflection of where we've reached. In sport, believe it or not, all the child safety, CRB, it's beginning to affect, but the one thing that saves any coach in sport is that everybody chooses to be there. They want to be there. So we can shout at them, we can run them around the pitch and basically discipline them without them knowing they're being disciplined. Because they want that self-discipline. We can challenge them in a way that you can't challenge them in any other aspect of society now. There's grievous bodily harm in sport with rules, and they get away with it. Now there's a few lawsuits flying now. We're about to lose our effectiveness. But the point I'm making is they're the last cultural bridges or arenas where you can actually use the vaccine to what I consider you to be the antidote. Everyone's talking about we. And I go, Muhammad Ali said me, we, when he spoke to Harvard graduates, when they asked him what it was all about. And what it is all about is, yeah, you can take on an individual crusade, and that's what I did. And then it becomes a vocation. But unless you have the we and the team culture, it will not happen. Unless all of you, at the end of today, develop the relationships that say no matter what happens, I'll always know who to pick up the phone to, or text, or email, or fax, or a moment's thought. We have no excuse for losing anybody. And then you'll have them come back, and it's always nice when they remember something you said to them, that they may not have welcomed them, but will welcome when they have their first major challenge, the choice they have to make. The young people you will meet later are equally something I felt that was absolutely critical and needed to happen. In this type of forum, it's not happened before. But we need to know what the customer, do you consider them a customer, a client? What do you consider them to be? A young person. Anyone else? So, learner, young person, individual, an individual. Any other names that we're prepared to share? Because I know I call them at times and they're
not very
nice.
nice names when they let you down, but
Absolutely.
you just get over it and you move on.
By the way, they let us down. Why?
Because they're scared.
We let them down. They know we're only going to take them part of the journey. They're not even sure if we're going to equip them for all of the journey. So they take what they can get, because society's taking what it can get. I spoke to some of those young people. I'll share that with you later. But for now, it's about us. It's about getting to grips with one another. You're all part of the same team. I'd say it's a squad here. But what I do know is, by the end of today, you will be a lot more than you were when you came in. Because there isn't one reason for you negatively challenging or questioning that I cannot provide you with an answer for. Why? Because it is as global as it is local. What's happening here is happening in South Africa. It's happening in Pakistan. We have Mr. Javinder Gas coming from India, but he couldn't get up here. He can't get up until tomorrow. I'll share what he's doing from just an email and a dream. We've got resources, we've got policies, we've got infrastructure, we've got all this stuff, and we've still got 600 people. By the way, they know where every one of their kids are. So I just sort of think, well, if they can do it with very little, we can do it with a hell of a lot. Any questions? I will have provoked something between your ears by now.
The hardest part about knowing where our young people are is engaging them, trying to find out what they want, and that's what I think every single person at the table does, is trying to engage a young person. And it's that mix of it. Are they going to engage or aren't they? 99% of them aren't going to do it, or there's something that's not going to let them do it.
What do you think? Why don't they, and what stops them?
Why don't they engage? They can't bother. They've got no motivation. What was your question?
I don't think the young people know what they want to do sometimes.
I think that's
And obviously you can provide what they think they want to do for them, and then to find out they don't want to do whatever they thought they wanted to do, and then you end up with kind of like they failed again or they failed again.
But you can advise, yeah, you can advise and you can support, but they're only with us for a certain amount of time, and they're in their own environments for the majority of that time. So how can you change something in a short period of time? It's happened for a long period of time, and it goes through decades.
Let me just hold that. I actually believe that's, for me, the crux of the matter. We engage them. They go back to their environment. But I want to know why they're not ongoing within our community.
Aspiration. I don't think the platform's got young people growing up with many aspirations or role models around them positive.
So role models, aspirations alone.
There is a lot of aspirations.
Do you think then that a lot, I know a lot of people have achieved in Blackpool, do you think that they should be stepping up to the plate, playing their role?
Yeah, we should be putting things back into the areas where there is.
You definitely need more role models.
Okay.
And then you've got, because who can the kids look up to? If they've got a struggling life, nothing to look up to or look forward to, they just get involved in the wrong areas.
I'm going to run with this because, as I said, I can give you a structure for a day, but this is the crux of the matter, the honest discussion. If we get there, we'll get to the point, the next element. You are the role models. I'm going to share something with you today, because I was the one, it was 1985, with Geldof, we decided that Live Aid and I said Sports Aid should play its part. And it was what sportsmen and women who came from these communities and globally said we would do. And it was the best thing I ever did, and it inspired the Youth Charter. I have got concerned about society's dependency on celebrity, the culture of celebrity, the fact that we need celebrities in order to get a policy done or to get an event. No, events I can go with, but celebrity, no. Role models, yes, but you are the role models. You're the one that's always going to be there for them.
Yeah, but
You know,
it's hard for the young person to understand that when they've just first met you. If they've got a name, say like Michael Jordan in America, it's a big phenomenon, and everybody can look up to Michael Jordan. But if a young learner comes into Venice and meets Terry Whitelaw, you know, that's just me, unfortunately. What they're just going to see a young man who's going to try and help them. He's got very limited background in the area that if he's just coming into the new job like I have. So they're going to see that, yeah, I can talk to him as much as I can, give him as much support that I can give to them that day, but as soon as they leave Venice, they're going straight back to the crowd that they've just left. And that's where I think we're going to struggle. Because they're going to go, because one of my learners is going to go, he's come in, he's got a youth placement, found him a placement, but the first thing he said he was going to go back to do when he left yesterday was go back and join his crowd at Stanley Park. And
That's the biggest crime. I don't understand that, because there should be the next baton change. That next agency should be there to pick up that baton and to continue the journey. Back to your point about celebrities, sportsmen and women. We call them sports ambassadors. I do believe we have a role. I believe we should be used to inspire the communities that we come from. But I don't believe it needs to be about becoming a rapper or becoming a NBA basketball star. Let me tell you something now. Winning, the business of winning, is the most difficult career path you can ever engage. Mr. Gascoigne is now a statistic. We don't like winners in this country, and I've only just about survived. And I'm 20 years out of my last major competition. It is worse than coming out of prison. It's worse than coming back from Afghanistan. It is that bad. Tell me how Paul Gascoigne could not, and by the way, Paul Gascoigne is brilliant with children and young people, as is Frank Bruno, as is so many. How are we not used effectively to help you? Yeah, when you want that cred, we'll be that cred. But that's all we should be. And then we should explain some of our experiences so that they appreciate that I would prefer to be the accountant of Michael Jordan, or the lawyer to Michael Jordan, or the doctor to Michael Jordan. Do you understand me? Or the brand consultant to Michael Jordan. For every single winner, or for every single artist, there is a team of 50 people earning. Tiger Woods, if he gets £250 million of endorsement, there is at least $15 billion circulating around him, providing God knows how many jobs. But this isn't explained. But that's part of what today's about, giving you some tools, hopefully a network, and an interactive tool that removes that. Because my concern is, everybody wants to be a star. I want people who are going to help make stars, and all I know is when I came back and tried to rehabilitate myself, it was the real people that engaged me. And I had everything from therapists to psychotherapists. So there's a contradiction in terms of saying sport's really good for you. Yes, it is, as a recreation, as a leisure, lifestyle activity. The business of winning can be bad for you. So it's balance. And I know that if Gascoigne had communities to go like Stanley Park, he'd be a lot better off than he is now.
It's just what they're going to get up to all of that.
Well, do you know, I'm a bit of a realist. They're going to get up to it anyway.
Yeah, true.
All we've got to do is give them the choices, and they've got to know the consequences. We're giving them rights without the responsibilities. I consider every young person a citizen of the world. It's a globalized community now. What happens in East LA is happening in Moss Side. By the way, they network better than we do. That was the other thing that frightened me. They network better than we do. I know gang members who are recruiting quicker than we are. So as we lose them, they engage them. So I realised we need to rebalance the odds. I've got disabled gang members. They've been shot in the legs, they've now got a wheelchair, and they're now taking care of business. I've got young under 10s, show and tell. They take a bullet to school now to show and tell, Sure Start projects. Or they're taking product. I'm afraid that's what I see. That's what I've been exposed to. And I was always told, if we accept you've got a problem, that's 50% of the solution. Now, when I raise this with civil servants, as you can imagine, they're none too pleased. They don't want to hear the truth. But if we can't get to the truth and the honest discussion, how are we going to get to rebalancing the imbalance? By the way, we're not going to solve it. I'll be honest with you, 15 years ago, we'll prevent this, we'll have this sorted. I'd gone and won world titles, they told me I couldn't win world titles, we can't beat the Japanese, we did it. It's easy, we'll do it on the streets. Initially it worked. Do you know what I hadn't got ready for? Success. It started to work. And as soon as it started to work, what happened?
You relaxed.
No, I didn't. I don't have that luxury. I wish I could. That's what I'm being warned to do after today. As soon as we get successful in this country,
Get knocked down.
so if I said anything to you, by the way, let me share with you what a social coach is, what I hope you become, what I think you already are, but we just need to enhance in you. somebody that when a young person looks at can tell in 30 seconds, not 60, that you care. Trust. By the ability of that trust, the respect will have been hard earned. You will have found a way, you will have found their gift to engage, reconnect, or maintain a relationship and set them on a journey that will see them not drop through the net, not fall below the radar. As a consequence of that, the dignity and the inspiration that will result from that is something I then say to sportsmen and women in particular, but it's worth remembering. I took Susan Hampshire, the actress, you all know Susan Hampshire. I took her to Moss Side when they said that Moss Side was like LA and Beirut. She came and opened a five-a-side multi-sport arena. Politicians who'd never been to Moss Side went. Local councillors came. Why? Because of her. And if that had not have happened, that all-important vaccine, we'd have never been able to start the work of rebuilding confidence. But we've got to rebuild your confidence so you go out there confident, and they can see that confidence in you. Because we have failed them. I say that within the collective we, because it's all about. Last summer was the worst summer on record in this region for young people taking one another's lives or taking the lives of people in the community. Do you know that? Were you aware of it? It was the first summer I never went on holiday with my family. We didn't go. I couldn't go. I remember saying to some youth workers recently why they went on holiday in the six-week period. It's a bit like Hamleys shutting at Christmas. We've chosen the path we've chosen. Do you know why at least 70%, half term last week, were any of you involved in any form of activity? Hands up, anyone was involved in some sort of activity, please. It should be every single bloody one of you. Every single one of you. Do you know why? That's our peak season. That's where we find out whether what we've done actually works. We go out there, we go to Stanley Park, and we find out what's going down. I was in London. I needed to be in the East End of London because my mum's got bars in front of her door and her bloody well windows. I don't understand it. However, there were 3 lives lost. Chased on an estate, and I went, where's all these community coaches? Where's all these interventions? Where's young youth, positive activities for young people? Where's the youth offending teams? Drug action teams? Where are they? That's where they should be. And with all this stuff, they weren't there. So you've got to ask yourself, why is that? By the way, this is on the basketball court. The one environment that I'm thinking, they should be safe. So you do ask yourself, why isn't it working? Well, for many who don't want to admit it, they're scared to go out there. I'd like to have some teachers here and for them to share with you how scared they are on a Monday morning after a weekend of what they're not sure young people have been exposed to and facing that in what is normally a double period. So I believe the double period of any beginning of a week in school should be, what do you do? What do you get up to? And then we can get rid of that and then tell what you got up to. But all I know is this. Soon when you break into your teams, please take it as a given. Imagine this was the last time we got together, because I know the gangs get together, and they're strategic, they're disciplined, they're focused. Unbelievably so, I think if only we could have had them on the right side. By the way, they're the only ones I can talk to, and they give me a straight deal. They've always been honourable. Only one politician out of 30 in the last 15 years has delivered to me. Don't blame them. Good democracy comes from you. And if you don't like your targets, tell them. The twilight zone. I didn't say tell them individually, you tell them as a collective. That's where I come in. I'm the agent provocateur, on your behalf. But what I want to do now is to make use of these 4 boards. We're going to talk about the pluses and the minuses, the burning issues. By the way, I am a step ahead. A year and a half ago, I worked predominantly with some connections staff who were unsure of their future. And they gave me an invaluable insight. And so you understand this has been so strategically interlinked to give you the quality of what I believe you can make use of in the future. But for now, we've just gone back to school. There's no sweets, by the way. Any sweets? They don't brought you sweets. You're not. Do anyone used to hide their sweets in the zip you stuff in your blazer and try and sneak them? I haven't seen anyone sneak any sweets. So I'm paying. There are no sweets. No, you pass them up a really big table. Is anyone suitably relaxed? Does anyone know why we're here? Has anyone got any questions as to why they should be here? By the way, the gym's over there. It's a nice environment. You're quite welcome to. Because I don't want you here if you don't want to be here. I ain't got time for all that. Yes, sir.
It's a great pity that we haven't got yachts here, we haven't got youth service here, positive activities, because they should be here. And probably one of the reasons why there was nothing happening last week was the numbers of people that are not present in those institutions.
You know what? When we were in sport, and we learned a hell of a lot from losing. By the way, I've learned nothing from winning. Just became an arrogant little shit. Confident that I can take on the world and beat the world. But I can say this to you, in losing I learned everything. And the one thing about sport, the culture of sport, and why I believe it has so many life skill transferables, you can actually say to someone, look, you mucked up. You didn't get it right. You made an error. And by the way, something I really want you to remember, we're in the business of errors. We are not in the business of